Hello guys, welcome again to Vance Empire TV. How are you doing? Unaendeleaje? We have some few hours to next year, some few hours tuvuke mwaka tukaribishe mwaka ingine. Before tumalize hii mwaka, wacha pia mimi nimalizie hii chapter ya legislation. So straight nilikuwa nimewambia I'll do part 4, 5 and 6 so that I finish legislature, of which already we have done part 1, part 2 and part 3. So straight to part 4, which talks of procedures for enacting legislation. Procedures for enacting legislation. So that is Article 109, which talks of exercise of legislative powers. Parliament shall exercise its legislative power through bills passed by Parliament and assented by the President. Any bill may originate in the National Assembly. A bill not concerning county government is considered only in the National Assembly and passed in accordance with Article 122 and the standing orders of the Assembly. A bill concerning county government may originate in the National Assembly or the Senate and is passed in accordance with Article 110 to 113, Article 112, 122 and 123, and the standing orders of the House. A bill may be introduced by any member or committee of the relevant House of Parliament, but a money bill may be introduced only in the National Assembly in accordance with Article 114. Bills concerning county government, that is Article 110. In this constitution, a bill concerning county government means a bill containing provisions affecting the functions and powers of the county government set out in the 4th schedule. A bill relating to election of members of a county assembly or a county executive, and a bill referred to in Chapter 12 affecting the finance of county government. A bill concerning county government is a special bill which shall be considered under Article 111 if it relates to the election of members of a county assembly or a county executive, or in the annual county allocation of revenue bill referred to in Article 218, or an ordinary bill which shall be considered under Article 112 in any other case. Before either House considered a bill, the Speaker of the National Assembly and Senate shall jointly resolve any question as to whether it is a bill concerning counties, and if it is, whether it is a special or an ordinary bill. When any bill concerning county government has been passed by one House of Parliament, the Speaker of that House shall refer it to the Speaker of the other House. If both Houses pass the bill in the same form, the Speaker of the House in which the bill originated shall, within 7 days, refer the bill to the President for assent. Hiyo procedure zinafuata kule bungeni. Let's continue to Article 111. Special bills concerning county governments. A special bill concerning a county government shall proceed in the same manner as an ordinary bill concerning county government. Subject to Clause 2 and 3, the National Assembly may amend or veto a special bill that has been passed by the Senate only by a resolution supported by at least 2/3 of the members of the Assembly. If a resolution in the National Assembly to amend or veto a special bill fails, to pass, the Speaker of the Assembly shall, within 7 days, refer the bill in the form adopted by the Senate to the President for assent. Article 112. Ordinary bills concerning county governments. If one house passes an ordinary bill concerning counties and the second house rejects the bill, it shall be referred to a mediation committee appointed under Article 113, or passes the bill in an amended form. It shall be referred back to the originating house for reconsideration. If after the originating house has reconsidered a bill referred back to it under clause 1b, that house passes the bill as amended, the Speaker of that house shall refer the bill to the President within 7 days for assent or reject the bill as amended. The bill shall be referred to a mediation committee under Article 113. Mediation committees. Bill imekataliwa imerudishwa kwa mediation committee. So let's see. Kwa mediation committee ni nini huwa ina happen? Kwa mediation committee. That is Article 113. If a bill is referred to a mediation committee under Article 112, the speakers of both houses shall appoint a mediation committee consisting of equal numbers of members of each house to attempt to develop a version of the bill that both houses will pass. If the mediation committee agree on a version of the bill, each house shall vote to approve or reject that version of the bill. If both houses approve the version of the bill proposed by the mediation committee, the Speaker of the National Assembly shall refer the bill to the President within 7 days for assent. If the mediation committee fails to agree on a version of the bill within 30 days, or if a version proposed by the committee is rejected by either house, the bill is defeated. Article 114 is money bills. A money bill may not deal with any matter other than those listed in the definition of a money bill in clause 3. If in the opinions of the Speaker of the National Assembly, a motion makes a provision for a matter listed in the definition of a money bill, the Assembly may proceed only in accordance with the recommendation of the relevant committee of the Assembly after taking into account the views of the Cabinet Secretary responsible for finance. In this Constitution, a money bill means a bill other than a bill specified in Article 218 that contains provisions dealing with taxes, the imposition of charges on public fund, or the variation or repeal of any of those charges. If the appropriation, receipt, custody, investment, or issue of public money, the raising of guaranteeing of any loan or its repayment, or matters incidental to any of those matters. In clause 3, tax, public money, and loan do not include any tax, public money, or loan raised by a county. Presidential assent and referral. Within 14 days after receipt of a bill, the President shall assent to the bill or refer the bill back to Parliament for reconsideration by Parliament, noting any reservations that the President has concerning the bill. Hapa good example ni ile ya financial bill, ile ilileta shida mwezi wa sita wa saba, ile maandamano, the Gen Z movement na all that. Hiyo bill ilifanyika the same, yeah, ilipitishwa parliament, kapelekewa president for presidential assent, lakini cause kulikuwa na issues, so hakusign, hakuweka kidole, so juu hakusign akairudisha tena back to parliament, so because it has all those issues that zilikuwa raised na wananchi wote, not forgetting the Gen Zs and millennials back in June and July. So that one is a good example of that happened. Let's continue. If the president refers a bill back for reconsideration, Parliament may, following the appropriate procedures under this part, amend the bill in light of the president's reservation or pass the bill a second time without amendment. If Parliament amends the bill fully, accommodating the president's reservation, the appropriate speaker shall resubmit it to the president for assent. Parliament, after considering the president's reservations, may pass the bill a second time without amendment or with amendment that do not fully accommodate the president's reservations by a vote supported by 2/3 of members of the National Assembly and 2/3 of the delegation in the Senate if it is a bill that requires the approval of the Senate. Okay. If Parliament has passed a bill under Clause 4, the appropriate speaker shall within 7 days resubmit it to the president, and the president shall within 7 days assent to the bill. Yeah. So unaona hiyo procedure yenye hiyo bill ina follow wakati imerudishwa parliament and then back again to the president. That's the procedure that is supposed to follow. Let's continue. If the president does not assent to a bill or refer it back within a period prescribed in Clause 1 or assent to it under Clause 5b, the bill shall be taken to have been assented to on the expiry of that period. So this is also another point. So president anaweza pelekewa bill, yeah? For example the same example kama hiyo ya finance bill, yeah? Akose kusign, then ipitishe hiyo muda yenye inafaa kusainiwa, so automatically hiyo bill inakuwa sheria, inakuwa law, because it says, yeah, if the president does not assent to a bill and kama haja sign or refer it back within the period prescribed in Clause 1, yeah, the period tumesoma ya 7 days, or assent it under Clause 5b, the bill shall be taken to have been assented to on the expiry of that period. So itakuwa assumed ameisign na amekubaliana na hiyo bill, na hiyo muda ikiisha, automatically that bill becomes a law even without him or her signing or assenting to that bill. Let's continue to Article 116, coming into force of laws. Okay. A bill passed by Parliament and assented to by the President shall be published in the Gazette as an Act of Parliament within 7 days after assent. Subject to Clause 3, an Act of Parliament comes into force on the 14th day after its publication in the Gazette, unless the Act stipulates a different date or in time at which it will come into force. An Act of Parliament that confers a direct pecuniary interest on members of Parliament shall not come into force until after the next general election of members of Parliament. Clause 3 does not apply to an interest that members of Parliament have as members of the public. So in short, inaeleza tu vile hiyo bill inakuwa sheria, yeah? So bill ikifika kwa president, ikisha sainiwa after 14 days, automatically inakuwa sheria. So that is what all these explanations is all about. Let's go straight to part 5. Part 5 talks of Parliament's general procedures and rules, powers, privileges, and immunities. There shall be freedom of speech and debate in Parliament. Freedom, yeah. Nakumbuka tulisoma about freedom of speech, the Bill of Rights. Yeah, kuna freedom pale of speech. So it's also in Parliament. Hiyo freedom of speech ndio mostly young people wanatumia in social media and out here to speak what they feel about this government of the day. So but remember tulisoma that the freedom of speech has limitations. So lazima ujue pia limitations za your freedom of speech zimefika wapi, so that you don't step on the other rights of the other person. So sheria imetueleza hiyo, katiba hii iko na all those clauses and articles. Let's continue guys. Parliament may, for the purpose of the orderly and effective discharge of the business of Parliament, provide for the powers, privileges, and immunities of Parliament. It is Parliament, its committees, the leader of the majority party, the leader of the minority party, the chairpersons of committees, and members. Public access and participation. This is Article 118. Parliament shall conduct its business in an open manner, and its sittings and those of its committee shall be in public. That's why we unaona mostly TVs and your favorite televisions zinakuletea bunge live, iwe National Assembly, iwe Senate. Some of these things you see them live because katiba yenyewe ndio inasema hivyo. So if katiba ingekuwa inasema hivyo, ingekuwa na hii kipengele, hawangekuwa wanakubali. So ni katiba imelazimisha hii maneno yote ku happen, so that you see how your MP transacts business in Parliament. Facilitate public participation and involvement in the legislative and other business of Parliament and its committees. Parliament may not exclude the public or any media from any sitting unless in exceptional circumstances. The relevant speaker has determined that there are justifiable reasons for the exclusion. So kuna right, media houses ziko na right kwenda kucover Parliament live. Unless kuna any reason that imefanya speaker akataze a certain media house, and this media house is not supposed to cover Parliament live. So you have that freedom to cover Parliament live. Let's continue to Article 119. Right to petition Parliament. Every person has a right to petition Parliament to consider any matter within its authority, including to enact, amend, or repeal any legislation. Parliament shall make provision for the procedure for the exercise of this right. Let's continue to Article 120. Official language of Parliament. The official languages of Parliament shall be Kiswahili, English, and Kenyan Sign Language, and the business of Parliament may be conducted in English, Kiswahili, and Kenyan Sign Language. So official language ya bunge ya Parliament ni English, Kizungu kama Kiingereza, Swahili ama Kiswahili na Sign Language. So hiyo inakubalika, unaweza tumia hizo lugha kule bungeni. So even sign language, if you don't know how to speak, and wewe uko na ulemavu wa kuzungumza, unatumia sign language, imekubalika. So it means even PWDs mwenye hajui kuongea anaweza chaguliwa aende bungeni na communicate na sign language. That's how this constitution is good enough. for all those people. Haibagui, haichagui. In case of a conflict between different language version of an act of parliament, the version signed by the president shall prevail. Okay, let's see about Article 121. This one talks of quorum. Yeah, quorum. The quorum of parliament shall be 50 members in the case of the National Assembly or 15 members in the case of the Senate. Okay, so this one specifically talks of quorum. National Assembly, ukiwa wabunge wangapi? 50 wanaweza transact any business. So hiyo ndio quorum. Yani they need at least 50 members to transact the business. Then in the Senate, they need at least 15 members to transact their business of the day. Let's see voting in Parliament. That's Article 122. Except as otherwise provided in this Constitution, any question proposed for decision in either House of Parliament shall be determined by a majority of the members in that House, present and voting. On a question proposed for decision in either House, the Speaker has no vote, and in the case of a tie, the question is lost. A member shall not vote on any question in which the member has a pecuniary interest. In reckoning the number of members of a House of Parliament for any purpose of voting in that House, the Speaker of that House shall not be counted as a member, because we have learned before that the Speaker is an ex-officio member, so the Speaker doesn't have a vote in Parliament. Yeye kazi yake ni kuchair Parliament. Let's continue. Decision of Senate. That's Article 123. On election, all the members of the Senate who were registered as voters in a particular county shall collectively constitute a single delegation for purposes of Clause 4 and the member elected under Article 98. 98(1)(a) shall be the head of the delegation. When the Senate is to vote on any matter other than a bill, the Speaker shall rule on whether the matter affects or does not affect counties. When the Senate votes on a matter that does not affect counties, each senator has one vote. One senator, one vote. So hawezi vote mara mbili. Itakuwa ni kora. Let's continue. Except as provided otherwise in this Constitution, in any matter in the Senate affecting counties, each county delegation shall have one vote to be cast on behalf of the county by the head of the county delegation, or in the absence of the head of the delegation by another member of the delegation designated by the head of the delegation. The person who votes on behalf of the delegation shall determine whether or not to vote in support of or against the matter after consulting the other members of the delegation, and the matter is carried only if it is supported by a majority of all the delegations. Committees and standing orders. Article 124. Each House of Parliament may establish committees and shall make standing orders for the orderly conduct of its proceedings, including the proceedings of its committees. Parliament may establish joint committees consisting of members of both houses and may jointly regulate the procedure of those committees. The proceedings of either house are not invalid just because of a vacancy in its membership or the presence of or participation of any person not entitled to be present at or to participate in the proceedings of the House. When a House of Parliament considers any appointment for which its approval is required under this Constitution or an Act of Parliament, the appointment shall be considered by a committee of the relevant House. The committee's recommendation shall be tabled in the House for approval, and The proceeding of the committee and the House shall be in public. Power to call for evidence. That's Article 125. Either House of Parliament and any of its committees has power to summon any person to appear before it for the purpose of giving evidence or providing information. This one hii mmeiona kabisa hii committee ya either National Assembly ama Senate wako na hiyo power. Meona wakisummon governors, meona wakisummon ministers ama CSs, so they have this power. Okay, let's continue. For the purpose of clause 1, a House of Parliament and any of its committees has the same powers as the High Court. Okay, to enforce the attendance of witnesses and examine them on oath, affirmation, or otherwise, to compel the production of documents, and to issue a commission or request to examine witnesses abroad. Part 5 is done. Straight to Part 6, miscellaneous. Location of sitting of Parliament, that's Article 126. A sitting of either House may be held at any place within Kenya and may commence at any time that the House appoints. Whenever a new House is elected, the President, by notice in the Gazette, shall appoint the place and date for the first sitting of the new House, which shall be not more than 30 days after the election. Parliament Service Commission, PSC, Parliament Service Commission. So don't confuse this one with Public Service Commission. This is Parliamentary Service Commission. There is an establishment of Parliament Service Commission. The commission consists of the Speaker of the National Assembly as a chairperson, a vice chairperson elected by the commission from the members appointed under paragraph C, 7 members appointed by Parliament from among its members, of whom 4 shall be nominated equally from both houses by the party or coalition of parties forming the national government, of whom at least 2 shall be women, and 3 shall be nominated by the parties not forming the national government, at least 1 of whom shall be nominated from each House, and at least 1 of whom shall be a woman, and 1 man, 1 woman appointed by Parliament from among persons who are experienced in public affairs but are not members of Parliament. So that is members of a Parliamentary Service Commission, of which Speaker ndio chairperson, Speaker ndio kinara pale, and members of the majority party, members of the minority party, and also other 2 members who are not parliamentarians. 1 man, 1 woman appointed by Parliament from among persons who are experienced in public affairs but are not members of Parliament. Let's continue, guys. The clerk of the Senate shall be the secretary to the commission. A member of the commission shall vacate office if the person is a member of Parliament. At the end of the term of the House of which the person is a member, or if the person ceases to be a member of Parliament, or if the person is an appointed member on revocation of the person's appointment by Parliament. Despite clause 4, when the term of a House of Parliament ends, a member of the Commission appointed under clause 2C shall continue in office until a new member has been appointed in the member's place by the next House. The Commission is responsible for providing services and facilities to ensure the efficient and effective functioning of Parliament, constituting offices in the Parliament service, and appointing and supervising office holders, preparing annual estimates of expenditure of the parliamentary service and submitting them to the National Assembly for approval, and exercising budgetary control over the service. Undertaking singly or jointly with other relevant organizations programs to promote the ideals of parliamentary democracy and performing other functions necessary for the well-being of the members and staff of parliament or prescribed by national legislation. So let's finish with Article 128, clerks and staff of parliament. So parliament pay gonna staff working, so let's see from the clerk downward. There shall be a clerk of each house of parliament appointed by the Parliamentary Service Commission with the approval of the relevant house. The office of the clerks and office of members of the staff of the clerk shall be offices in the parliamentary service. So that comes to the end of chapter 8. I was talking of legislature. So tumeichambua, tumeona legislature ni mambo ya wabunge. So our next chapter will be executive. So executive hapa ni the presidency na mawaziri and all those who are under mawaziri kama PSs, yeah, all those members. So guys, as we are nearing next year, few hours from now, we have to thank Almighty God kwa kutulinda mwaka mzima mpaka saa hii, na atatuvusha salama tufike mwaka mwingine. Sisi ni nani? Lazima tumshukuru Mungu guys. So zungumza maneno yale unaona yanaendelea kwa ustaarabu, hapana tusi mtu, unaweza kashifu lakini usitusi mtu to an extent. Ile kitu nimeona in a good way. Unaweza kashifu mtu but in a good way, usimtaje because mtandao watu wengine wanatumia vibaya. Of late tumeona kuna abductions. So tumia social media vizuri, ikufaidi na ifaidi wengine, because there are good ways of using social media because it is here with us, we cannot avoid it. All in all, that is my 1 cents, and I will leave you. Not forgetting guys to subscribe to this channel, Vance Empire TV, and my name is Governor. See you next year. Bye.